Hello everyone, welcome to the second edition of just tech session. No Antoine Nouvel, it will be today me, Emanuele, and my dear colleague Niels. Niels, what do you do at Odoo?
I work in your team at PS Tech. So R&D develops the main Odoo that everybody uses, and in PS Tech we do customizations, so just develop for one specific customer.
All right. We also do help partners. That's, I guess, it's something that we do kind of a lot. And today's, let's say, a special session because it's tech session, and it's also the first Odoo Insider after the Odoo experience. So last week, Odoo released Odoo 19, and we had this big event in Brussels for 5 days, basically. We had 2 days of master classes, smart classes, I don't remember how they call it now. Then 3 days of event where we had keynotes, and we introduced some of the new features. We had different talks. We have different exhibitors coming in. It was an intense event for us because we, as employees, work in the event itself. We do plenty of things. And today we want to talk a little bit about what we presented, some of the new features of Odoo 19, and some of the most interesting tech talks that we had. And I will do like a small tour about the new features, what changed, what didn't change, if there's something interesting. But I already see that there's some questions. Maybe we can address them immediately. Is it possible, this is from Pierre on LinkedIn, is it possible to set up an RSS feed on a website created via odoo.com? I'm pretty sure that you can do it with a customization, but
not out of the box.
Not out of the box, unless maybe it exists, but I'm not aware of it. So I guess with the blog application, maybe you have something kind of similar to our RSS feed, but I'm not 100% sure that it's standard. You can do it because it's not too complex, but yeah. So as Odoo register accountant, are we eligible to access client database without client need to buy additional user? We do accounting for Australian business. So I know that in the last Odoo experience, Fabian introduced presented a database management app that will be available to all users in SaaS. This will let accountants to manage their clients easily. But I don't know if this will actually need to have a user in the client's database. I'm not 100% sure about that. But there's a feature for you accountants to manage that. There's a talk about that. I think even in the keynote, there was the presentation about this feature. I don't know, Niels, if you have anything about that?
I know that there are some special setups that accounting firms sometimes have which allow them to do that, but there's nothing where you can just add a user for free. So either you have done the special app that Emmy talked about, or some setup, but you cannot just add a user and not invoice them, because the invoicing is automatic.
Yeah. Do you want to read the other questions?
No,
Okay.
You're doing great.
All right. So we have a question from Laza Technology on YouTube. How much the DMS, so I think it stands for Document Management System, is applicable to replace internal office paper-based documentation or internal communication? This is first question, and then the second one is, and also the e-signature applicability. To what extent can it replace it 100% of the signature tasks? So for the Document Management System, I would say that we have some clients that are using Odoo as a DMS, but I think it depends on maybe some, if you have to respect some ISO standards and some policies. In this case, you need to check if you have some features required for DMS, maybe some versioning or some accessibility, some things that might not be available on Odoo, on the document API of Odoo. But yeah, by default, I think that if you just need to manage contracts, manage your employees' contracts, your vendors' contracts, you just need to sort your documents in folders, use some automations from invoicing to save the PDFs in Odoo. This is out of the box, and I think this covers the need. This is what we use internally. We use the document app to, for example, when I receive my payslip, it's saved in the document app of Odoo. So that's pretty good. We can use it. And for the internal communication, actually, I would say you can use Discuss, which is built in. You can use the chatter to communicate, maybe talking about a specific object, a specific invoice, or a specific purchase order. And the e-signature applicability, I think that the answer is actually the same, because maybe Antoine Nouvel, when he will come here next week, he will have some better functional explanations about this one. Maybe he's also more aware of the needs that you need to cover using the e-signature app. Because yeah, we also offer some type of validation of the signature somehow, but still it depends on what your country consider as a valid e-signature. So I think it depends country by country. Maybe we could say in Belgium you can also use It's Me to validate the signature, but in some other countries It's Me basically means nothing. So it depends on the country where you are from. Maybe if you're in Italy, it's not valid, but yeah. Then there's a question that is a little bit functional. We can try to answer. When I make a payment from partners, but Odoo cannot automatically pay the unpaid bill invoices, it can be done manually. How can I automatically pay the invoice from a direct payment? I'm not sure to follow.
So Odoo does not have access to your bank account, so it cannot send money for you. In theory, like if you do your bank transactions via Odoo, you can use accounting reconciliation to reconcile them with your bills and invoices. But I'm not sure, to be honest, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah. Sheikh MD Ryan, please elaborate if you want us to answer. And if you are not able to answer, it will be for next week. Antoine Nouvel will be here, and he has more functional knowledge than we do. We try to do our best. So now Arthur went out, so I will not be able to read. We will not be able to read extra questions. So we'll just go on with what we wanted to show you today, because we have plenty of topics. So first of all, for all the people, we will also then send a message with all the list of YouTube talks. We have like 10, 15 different talks. There's some of them are very interesting if you are an Odoo developer. Well, the keynote, I would recommend you to read it, to watch it. You have the usual page, what changed, what not changed, kind of quick. You have a good overview so that you can see if the app that you're working on got changed or didn't change. Because this is also important. New version was revealed, and some people might ask us, what about upgrade? When should we upgrade? What's your take on that, Niels?
In general, we recommend upgrading every 3 years. So if you're in 18, you don't necessarily need to go to 19 unless there's features you're really, really hyped about. And also, I would consider the more customizations you have, the more complicated the upgrade is. So if you are on a fully standard database, it's fairly easy to upgrade because we take care of it. So at that point, you can just do it if you're hyped about it. If you have a big database with a lot of customizations, then I would recommend waiting a few until 21 if you're 18, I guess, because the upgrade process can take a few months.
Yeah, and don't underestimate the upgrade. Like it's could really be complex, and don't wait also to the last minute to do it. There's plenty of questions. There is one from I'm sorry, I will butcher your name, Ratna Kumar.
Where do I get video of Odoo 19 localization for Australian? If that was a talk at Odoo Experience, if you go, as Emmy is showing, onto the talks here, there's all the talks that have been here. You can also search for past years if there's any talk that interests you. So let's see. Yeah,
There's
there we
one.
go.
Yeah,
So
actually.
there's your talk for
Yep.
Australia.
And maybe you will not be able to find the video right now, but in the next coming weeks, we will split the recording that we did, because right now we add two recordings per day during the event, one for the morning, one for the afternoon, and you can already find all the talks there. But for the ease of you know um, processing for you, the videos, I'm pretty confident, will be split in the coming weeks, and you will be able to watch these live. And yeah, but yeah, totally recommend whenever Odoo experience is done. We always have, let's say, a website that is more or less the same. Go in the talk list, look for your topic, for example, ORM, and you're very likely be able to find the content that you need.
And as Emmy said, they're all already, we have the full streams. So if you can't wait, on the talk list, you can see the time and the hall where the talk took place. And so you can go to the YouTube channel where there's all the streams and they're labeled with the day and the hall.
Yeah, exactly. Like in this case, we have the talk done by Rafael, our ORM framework main dev, the lead dev, and you can find all the talk and then the talks after. So yeah, just you can look for Odoo Experience 2025, then the name of the hall, and you will be able to find all the talks for that day. There were still some questions. Some of them might be long. Michelle from LinkedIn. Hi, Michelle. Would it be possible to add a third contact type family to the contact form in addition to the existing person and company? The idea is to group individual family members under one shared family entity. For example, family AAAA would be registered as a family. Individual members, mother AAA, father AAA, and children would be added as person contacts and linked to that family. If this structure is possible, we would also like to generate invoices where multiple individuals, mother, father, and child, purchase products, but the invoice is issued to the family, not to the individual members.
I mean, off the top of my head, you can develop everything. We are not going to develop that because that does not look like a need that has enough of an audience. For you, you could do it, but to be honest, it sounds pretty deep. Like a lot of work. I think there is easier workarounds that you can try to achieve. Like, so why do you need the family? You want...
Maybe you could put a tag on the family, and then you can treat a family as a company, which is kind of weird because families are not companies.
Yeah.
But
basically, there's a lot in Odoo that assumes that a contact is either a person or a company. So here, if you add a family, then you will have to patch all the places in the code where that happens. So I think an easier way to achieve what you want is to add a new field, family, and then keep these people as persons. And then that way you can just add logic on top instead of modifying the existing one.
yeah, I mean, it's also important to say that we in our department, we really try to not develop things that are
against what standard does.
Exactly. We try to avoid is maybe different than what partners do. It's let's say different niche.
Yeah.
There was also another question. Can you scroll down, Arthur? Thank you. Asan from LinkedIn. We receive the same product multiple times a day and want lot numbers assigned automatically per product. When someone clicks generate serial lots, Odoo should look up the last lot used for the product and create the next numbers. So we never reuse REEL00 and avoid merges in MRP. What's the recommended way to implement this on Odoo SH?
So the implementation between Odoo SH or other Odoos does not change. Do you recommend way to... I'm not quite sure how the generation of serials works in standard. Like, does it just increase one sequence constantly?
You can do that, or you can also change however you want it when you receive a product. Might be difficult to do a demo for that, but yeah, I guess that with the customization you can change the suggested serial number so that when you click on assign serial numbers on the stock move, you would automatically pre-fill the entries and find the last one and then do like REEL 002 003 and so on and so forth. It's a customization, and you create a module on Odoo SH, upload it, and you're good. Yeah. Wait, isn't that?
That's the same
it's the
as
same
the previous one.
It's the same question. So can you scroll down now? Then we have Roxanne from LinkedIn. If we decide to install an on-premise version of Odoo, what would the process look like from start to finish? And what is the typical timeline for implementation?
For on-premise installation, if you go onto the Odoo tutorials, there is some help there.
I think it's
That's in
reference somewhere
somewhere there's a hosting, but
on-premise. Yes.
here we go. So here on-premise, you can find everything that you need. The timeline, it depends a bit on your skill and team. So if you have already experience as a sysadmin, setting up servers and all that, it will be okay. Otherwise, it will take you more time. And what I always recommend for on-premise is really be sure that is what you need, because it's a lot of extra work. It's way more complicated. And quite often what you want can also be achieved on SH or on Odoo Online.
Yeah, so yeah, it depends also on if your business can just work with Odoo out of the box, once you start your server, could be good to go. But it's don't underestimate the complexity of going on premise, because you manage your security, and we're not talking about a small web server that serves static pages, or like a blog. When you put Odoo on premise, you also have all your ERP, your invoices, your contacts, all of that. If you're not careful enough, could be in danger. Like a hacker could potentially come and get your data, hack your system, if you're not careful enough. So yeah, be very careful with that.
Also, we can not help you as much in terms of support, simply because we don't have access to your thing. Like if you're on SH, on SaaS, we have your server, we can access it, we can help you and debug. If it's on premise, we can try to assist you, but mostly you're on your own. That's why I recommend only doing it if you have some sysadmin experience already.
There was a question. Can you scroll down below, Arthur? Way below, there was one that was interesting. Scroll even down. So there was someone that asked, how did I get a score of 40% on my technical assessment when I only get one code question that I got right and with a good time complexity? Niels, because Niels is very important. Niels is also part of the interviewer team.
Niels is not very important. Niels is one of the interviews that we have. So the way the technical assessment works is a bit similar to how LeetCode, Coding Game, and all these coding challenges platforms work. So you will get one question, but the question will go through a lot of different test cases. So if you only got 40% correct, it means that the code that you got 40% of the tests correct, and in the 60 other percent, it got a wrong answer. And yeah, so the time complexity does not matter, unless of course you time out because it takes too long.
Yeah. So I guess that this person got 40% because
6 out of 10 test cases were wrong.
Yeah.
So if you have struggles with that, I recommend practicing more on LeetCode and similar sites, because I assume that you're a developer, if you did this, and these kind of exercises are valuable because every interview you will have, no matter in which company, will contain these type of drills.
Yes, good. So question from Laza Technology on YouTube. Which kind of e-signature is mostly used in Odoo and best standard? Like drawing sign, attaching sign from an image? Honestly, I would say that even like just using the initials are pretty common, I would say. I know that the HR person that signed my contract used the default
generated one.
Yeah, and I used the one that you can draw with, but I don't know if there's a specific standard or a best standard. Whatever works for your client, for your customer. In the end, what matters is that the person is actually the one signing it, and you have, like, let's say, the proof, because the signature is generates like a token or something that kind of proves that that person signed using that IP. So you can kind of confirm that it was me signing, even if I put like, well, I don't write my name correctly. Again, that's the technology on YouTube. Right now, does Odoo 19 is Odoo 19 stable for customization for customers? Right now, we created the branch, so we can also go on GitHub and go on Odoo. So we have the 19 branch, absolutely, and it's now the master one, the main one. And I would say that right now it's considered stable enough for you to develop, because it's not the main branch. It's not like the master branch where we continuously add commits on commits that can break. So once Odoo 19 is out, you would not expect new fields to be added. You would not expect new views to be added. That's the same stable policy rules that we use all the time. What can happen is that you have new modules created. For example, if let's say that Belgium introduces a new fiscal rule that will be applicable from mid of 2026, maybe there will be a new module called like L10 BE, new fiscal regime or something that you can install if needed. Maybe it will be added to the templates created on SH or on SAS, but by default you can already use it. Obviously, the branch was created like a couple of weeks ago, so you would expect more commits to come, and some changes are more likely to happen. But 99% of the time, if you, and it's a very open, let's say, remark, if you develop correctly, we can debate what does it mean to develop correctly. Once the branch is created on Odoo, you will not be impacted by the changes, unless you might do something that is not considered like a proper customization. Obviously, we can debate a lot on what does it mean to do a proper customization, but I would say that's the right thing. And then I don't know if this is the same person that asked for it, but when will the upgrade be available on to 19 on Odoo SH? The timing is more or less a couple of months after the release of the version, because you have team and solutions. That's the question. So you might have a couple of months before we are actually able to upgrade, because what we normally do is that we have our own database, which is odoo.com uses Odoo, surprisingly so. And we upgrade each minor version. So we are now in 18.4, if I'm not mistaken. We will upgrade in 19, and then after we upgraded, because let's say our is a pretty big database, we can catch lots of maybe issues during the upgrade process by upgrading our own. After that, there might be like 1 or 2 weeks of stabilization of the upgrade scripts, and then they should be available. Timeline is almost never communicated, because it can vary. If I tell you it will be in February, maybe it's available already in November, maybe it will be in December. You have to wait at least a couple of months after the release. But no one stops you from creating a new database if you need to, and it's already in version 19. Then there's a question, but unfortunately we cannot really see it. Can I download a Odoo learning material into my client database as user guide?
And then that's so.
Okay, it's the link. So you just want the slides, I guess. You.
I mean, why do you want to download them? In my opinion, it's easier if you just link them, because they are openly available, and that way your users can just come here and see them.
Exactly, absolutely.
Because I think that like downloading them is a lot of work, and then there's also some legal questions that I'm not qualified to answer, but not really sure you can just copy them.
Yeah, I am not sure about that either. Like, but yeah, I think it's easier, because if there's a new or something changes or get updated, if you link our the slides, you will be able to get the latest info. And the page that the person that asked the question is referring to is this one. Yeah, the getting started, I guess, and others. But yeah, you can absolutely link this one. They are openly available. Check them. I think we read a couple of maybe extra questions, and then we will have to go forward with the exam. Okay, there's a new interesting. Okay, so Python 3.14 is right around the corner. I'm interested when will we get support for it in Odoo 19, and if it will take advantage of free-threaded Python that's going to be supported in 3.14. So that's a good question, absolutely. So usually what we support in the latest version is the latest Odoo version is the latest Python version that comes with standard Debian. So that's what we rely on. So if Debian comes with Odoo 3.10, and I think that's the version that currently comes with Debian, that's the minimum version that we have to support. And that means that we cannot use features that are not back compatible. So free-threaded Python will not be available until the minimum version of Python that comes with Debian will be 3.14. There's if you check the code itself, we can try to find it. There's a mean version, something like that. It's I think it's in base. Yes, you see here minpy version, maxpy version. I know it will be changed soon, and but yeah, this is the most important part. You can also check the comment because you see that Christoph changed it recently, and if you check the PR, maybe you will be able to get more insights. But generally, we always need to support the minimum version. So, for example, the walrus operator was not used for some time because the minimum version was before the introduction of the walrus operator. Odoo is a very big software, so we need to also be able to make it compatible with the, let's say, biggest number of servers, biggest number of clients as possible. Yeah. All right. If we might go back to the questions later, but now, Niels, what did we want to talk about?
The OXP. How was your OXP? For those who were there, did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
What was your favorite part, Emmy?
So I was part of the broadcast team, and so it was funny to be like in, let's say, Arthur's position for 3 days. It was a little bit intense, managing the cables, recording, putting a mic on people. It's a little bit intense, but it was fun. We were also in a nice room for me as a developer because we were in all 11B, where most of the tech talks happened, and we saw plenty of talks. I'll share the links here. And today we will focus on 4 of these, more or less. And absolutely, after our Odoo Insider session, go watch the YouTube video, enjoy it. Very cool. Some of the features are very interesting. I would say that the biggest feature, maybe for me, I don't know if it's really the biggest feature, but I mean, other than the AI stuff that we got talked a lot about, but this is more, let's say, functional, commercial side. We are interested in the Python side, JavaScript side, SQL side of the talks and of the event. And we have our, as I was saying, our colleague RCO that introduced some new way, but we will talk about that later. But most importantly is JSON 2. What can you tell us about JSON 2? What will it replace?
So, if you want to connect Odoo to a different system, you need to do an integration. And if you want the other system to communicate with Odoo, you need to use our API. And until now, you had the choice between 2 protocols, XML RPC and JSON RPC. Both will be deprecated starting version 20. So if you have an integration, don't worry. It will still run on your database as long as you are in your current version. And then one day, once you upgrade to version 20 or above, you will need to switch to JSON 2. So if you start a new integration on version 19, I would recommend immediately doing it in JSON 2. That way, you won't have to do extra work.
Yes, and we don't want you to be completely unprepared. So in the list of talks, you will be able to find Odoo API 101 done by our colleague Nicolas, where it goes through some examples on how to use the new API. What we wanted to show you today that will be interesting is like how do you use it, and also as a last part, how do you go from a previous call to the new version of the same request. We prepare some examples that Niels sent me, and let me find them. So it changes quite a bit. So I cannot talk about JSON 2 without talking about another very big feature, which is the Odoo runtime doc. I think this is like the feature. I got asked so many times, how do you use the API? How can I get data? How do I get that field? And Julian, JUC, and Elliot and other colleagues work a lot on this feature. This is just a web page that is available. I think since Odoo 18.3, 18.4, it's a web page that you can make available for your users, or you also can disable it. If I'm not mistaken, there is a system parameter for that, which I don't know if I can find it, but there's something that allows you to disable the /doc page if you want to, because maybe you don't want this to be leaked. And it's very, very interesting. Obviously, it's available only if you're logged in, but even if you are logged in and you don't want to show this to your accountant, you can disable it. And what can you do with that? Well, you are able to find all the models that exist in Odoo, all the fields, and all the functions that you can call for those models, because we changed the, let's say, the protocol is not JSON RPC, it's not XML RPC, it's JSON 2, which is closer to, let's say, standard APIs, but that doesn't mean that we are not able to call remote procedures anymore.
I didn't know it comes with like an interface where you can just have a request pre-filled and you can just run it. That's actually really cool.
Yes, exactly. That's crazy cool, because if you don't know how to do something, well, you can just run it. And to run it, I think you have to first set up the API keys. We can do like a small demo to do that. And I will create an API key admin, because this is just a random DB. Okay.
So this is a local DB that
exactly.
nobody is not online, so we don't care much. But if you ever do this,
don't
keep your API key secured and don't share it on the stream.
Exactly.
If it's for a real database.
So let me maybe save it here. Yeah, absolutely. Also, NSE, our colleague that talked about that, mentioned this one as well. I just want to save it in case we might need it later. But I mean, this is bad. This is bad. Save it as an environment variable.
It's okay because it's a local DB. This is not a real database that we use, and hence not a real API key.
What? Please insert. I didn't. Okay, and I guess I have to do something else. And do I need to refresh? Python, JSON. Okay. Yeah, I need to put it. Voila. Product brand, I don't have anything. Makes sense. So let me do it with something more interesting, like the contacts. So I can go there. I have the contacts, and I can maybe change the domain so that I can get more data. I can run it, and I get the response. I get all the contacts in my DB. I can put the domain. I can see how it looks like. I can find example for some programming languages or the command line.
I guess maybe Python you can't execute, but it's still there so that you can copy it to your editor.
If I copy and put it in the editor, is perfect. And yeah, so it's pretty interesting. You have a list of all the methods, and you can also find maybe functions that are added in other modules. For example, I can select all, and this will display all the fields that are added by any module in Odoo, your own if you want to, or just the basic one like base. Now I think it's called core, but it's different. It's one of the new things about the base module. Now I think it's now called core. It became a standard namespace module. It's slightly different, but like for you it doesn't change too much as you work. I didn't even check that too much, and I'm able to run Odoo. Doesn't change too much for you. But yeah, you have the list of functions that you can call. It works for all the models. So for example, I created this is a old model that I created a long time ago, and you can see that here I can find all the fields that are created by my own module. So if I switch here, I see that name is required, and I can see it as required here. I will zoom in because maybe you cannot see it properly. And yeah, it's a pretty cool feature, and this will answer most of your need. Like how can I confirm a sale order? Sale order, you go there. Let's put the sales up so that I'm able to find it, and then there's like confirm. Action confirm. You have the description, confirm the given quotation, and set their confirmation date. It's pretty interesting, and let's do a proper example. We have a quotation here. I get the ID, which is 3, and then I can do which ID do we want to confirm? Run. Response success, and if I refresh, the quotation is confirmed. And I also obviously can get the code for this one as well, for this type of code. Very interesting, very dangerous, because I can also do something worse. And I put ID free. Thankfully I cannot delete it because the order is confirmed.
Yes.
But you can potentially, if there's no safeguard for you on the model, you will be able to delete records while you test the API. If I'm not mistaken, Julian in his talk was saying that this is something that might be changed. Maybe there will be like a sandbox type of environment where you are able to perform the calls without them being committed. It's very difficult because maybe when you call a function, there's a manual commit in the function that you call, so we will not be able to roll back the function. But this is potentially something that we can do. It will be for version 20, something like that. But it was in one of the questions of this talk that was JSON 2. Almost at the end, Julian answered the same request. And I would totally recommend looking at his talk. He explains why we went through this change and what does it mean for you. Very interesting. Maybe we can check. Did we get some new questions? Maybe a few. Let's check them. Maybe just to get some time to breathe, and then we go through.
On the topic of the new doc tool, can you go back to it?
If I don't, or if we didn't, please.
No,
we did. Okay.
This one, remind him maybe that.
Yeah, it was about the AAA, the family.
We have answered it.
And the answer was you can either create a new field.
I would technically you could do it. I would advise against it because basically Odoo expects in a lot of places a contact to be a person or a company, and so if you add a third type, you will have to patch every place where Odoo has that assumption and add extra logic. So what might be simpler is simply to leave that as is and add a new field that is like a many-to-one towards a new model called family, which allows you to group people into a family, and then you can add the invoicing thing you wanted. Because basically adding logic on top of what Odoo defined is always easier than changing or going against what it normally expects.
Cool.
And it,
Do you want to read it, Niels?
so we have a sale order. In that sale order line, we want to fetch this data into the repair module. So if we have 10 sale order line, they would be fetched into the repair module. I am not quite sure like what the question is.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I don't know if there's a. I don't even know if there's any relationship between the sale app and the repair app, because I think that the repair app is done from the maybe the repair point of view. We use it internally to manage like the like if I have an issue with my computer, the IT guys will use this one. And do you see any relationship? I mean, yeah, you have a customer.
Yeah, but that's not.
You have a quotation created from the repair
No.
order.
So if you want to like add logic that allows you to link this to sale order lines, then you would add a new module that establishes many to one towards sale order or sale order lines directly.
But I guess that I don't know if now I go in the sale app and find maybe an existing customer, Deco Addict. Maybe I'm able to find a can I yeah, because then you need to be able to find if this product was already delivered to them, and then
You
to
can
repair.
put a filter on the customer because you have the customer on the repair order, and so it
Yeah.
needs to be the same one.
Maybe you can also then from the repair you could add a button say like add order lines, pop up, select the sale order, show all the lines, confirm, and you add the lines to the repair order line. Doesn't sound too complex. Maybe there's some logic involved, but it's a customization. You can
Yeah.
potentially do it on SaaS.
I mean, unless we're unaware of any functional
absolutely,
extra module
absolutely.
that gives you this link.
Could you say something? This is again from Laza. Could you say something about the Odoo multi-company implementation? I mean, the multi-company implementation has been existed for a long time. It changed it in 17, I think, when we added the branches. So now, when you have a company, you can either a company can either be a company itself or a branch of another company, so they will share the same accounting, localization, accounting, everything, journals. It's just, let's say, different brand maybe, but same accounting mainly, because the focus I think was for accounting. And there's not really like a big strategy behind it. I don't know what's your take on that.
I mean, be careful. I think the big thing in multi-company that goes wrong is that people forget that it's very important if you add any new customizations to make sure that the field can only take records from the same company. Because otherwise what can happen is that you have a company and a company dependent field, for example. What's a company dependent field? Let's say
price list.
Yeah, let's say you have a price list on a sale order, which is a company dependent field. If you manage to put a price list from a different company onto that sale order, then you now need access to both companies to be able to even open the record. And if you don't have that, then everybody's completely locked out of it.
Yeah.
So the main thing is that there is a keyword called company dependent on the field, and on the class there is check company. And so if you have company dependent, then generally you should use check company, which will make sure for you that you cannot mix the company of the record and of the relational field that you're adding.
Yes. Yes, be careful. It's a nice feature to keep, let's say, data segregated, but not like physically. It just, I don't know, maybe you have a subsidiary in Romania, you have a subsidiary in Ireland, and you don't want each other to see the data of each other. In some cases it might be needed, so you can use that for it. But yeah, there is some basically also the fact that we use the company dependent company IDs means that most of the queries that we do and most of the access right that we have, record roles that we have, will always contain a multi-company domain.
Yeah.
That's
And one side note also about multi-companies, that a common request that we get is to change a field from company dependent or not. So for example, on products, the unit price is, I believe, is company dependent, and then sometimes they want to, is not company dependent, and sometimes, oh god damn. So normally every company can have a different unit price, and sometimes they want us to change it so that each company has the same unit price. And so you might be led to think that you can just remove the company dependent attribute on the field, which you could, but I would again strongly advise against that, because you're going against the way Odoo thinks it should work, and you will have to work a lot extra. So in these type of situations, always try to find a functional way you can do it. So functionally here, for example, you could simply go through all the companies and update it to be the same on all of them, and then find a way to automate that functional behavior. Because any functional behavior is working, because you can do it and will not break Odoo. And so if you just automate things that you can do manually, you should normally be fine.
Do you want to read the other question maybe?
So I want to automate the barcode generation, but we will add the barcode field in the inventory operations receipt, and any receipt when you add a new product on a new receipt while creating a new product. I need to split this into sentences. So they want to automate the barcode generation on receipts. So when creating a new product, no, I'm sorry, I don't get it.
Aniket, if you want to rephrase your question a little bit, just for us to answer you. Thanks for the question, but if you can rephrase it so that we don't answer something that is not correct.
So I'll try to answer. It might be completely wrong, so if it is, just rephrase it. So if you have an automation in Studio that allows you to do something with barcodes, and you want to automate the barcode number, that is a sequence, I think?
Yes.
Because usually automatically incremented in Odoo are sequences. So in your database, you can just open sequences, and there you can configure the way you want it to work. And then on the top right, there's the sequence code, which is what you will have to use in your automation to use that specific sequence. So yeah, let us know if that was the answer to your question. Otherwise, we'll try again later.
Yep. There is a question about tracking raw materials. This one, honestly, ask it to Antoine Nouvel next week. We want to focus more on, let's say, if you know how to...
by chance, I think I can now... so since Odoo 19, there's a pretty significant change to units of measure, in that every unit of measure can be converted to any unit of measure. So if you have a direct link between kilograms and reals in your... So because in the question is asked that they want to track something by kilograms and by reals. So if you have a fixed method of converting from one to the other in 19, you can simply set it up in units of measurements, and it will be tracked in one of them, but you can always convert to the other one if needed.
Yes. Arthur, any other question, or?
We have this one, and then
that one
another
already.
one from Raza, and then we are clear.
Okay, cool. Keep on adding the questions. We'll try to answer them as we go. If again from Laza, if Odoo ERP is being implemented over public internet for a client and needs to integrate into more biometric attendance machine from different branch offices, how should that be implemented? So over internet for a client and needs to integrate, I guess that you're talking also about attendance I feel like that's something that you need biometric for. So you want to check if your employee is badged in the right office. I
In theory, the machines should have different signatures that allows you to differentiate
Yeah.
between them. And so in your customizations, you can add parameters that allow to link a machine to a specific office.
Yes, and if I'm not mistaken, the standard attendance attendance module will also add a small button on the top right that will allow you to check in, and you are maybe I need to activate it. You are identified with the IP, and you know where you are based on that. Obviously, someone can change their IP or make it look like they are somewhere else. But yeah, the attendance app, if you activate it properly, automatic checkout. I think like allow user check in and out from Odoo. Yes, this one I can check in. It will use my location and my IP, and it will save the attendance. Or there's also the attendance is here. You can, I think you can kiosk mode. You can use it to scan your badge, and you can, if it doesn't work out of the box, you can change that part of the code that identifies where the user is. Even with JavaScript, we did it. If you go back and we have a list of all the Odoo Insider sessions, we did at one point a small customization to use JavaScript to identify where you are using the localization service that is part of the browser, part of the standard JavaScript API, and you can probably add that info to the scanning in kiosk mode to identify where you are, if that's the question. And okay, would you like to have a small break in a
Up to you.
few? We can continue. We can continue. So okay, let's go back to the example. Nils, you were saying something about the JSON 2. What were you saying? Do you remember it?
So it was about the doc that we have, but maybe we can just see that when we go through examples.
So let's do a very, very basic example. What you see here, it's basically a copy paste of what you have in the /doc page. So
Actually, I wish if I had that doc page, I would have copy pasted it.
Yeah.
And I generated everything from hand.
I need to log in again. Okay. So yeah, I could have told you maybe, but it's easier.
That's why I watched the talk.
So we have this example. So what you saw in the page here, we can just take it and put it in Python. Again, I want to insist, but it's important. Don't save the key, the API key, like that one. This is not okay. Don't use it in a production code. Don't put the API key in your source code. This is a demo, so it's different. What can you tell us about the payload and the URL that we are using?
So as you can see in the URL, it starts with the URL of the database, and then there's the new JSON2 path, and then afterwards you give the model that you want to work on and then the operation that you want to execute. So that is all in the URL, what you want to do, and then in the payload is you give everything else that Odoo will need for the execution. So in this case we're doing a search read, which means we need to tell it which fields we actually want to read.
Yes, perfect. So it's a big change, maybe, at least in the format, but information are more or less the same that you were sending already in a JSON RPC or even with XML RPC. Name of the DB, and then the bearer token will replace the ID of the user performing the call and the password or token. So this one will identify with one string both the user and authenticate them. And we can just run it. If I go in my JSON2 example, Python 3.0.0 example JSON2, voila, it works. And nothing surprising. But we also we can go through different examples. I think I have to go to the 0.1.
Okay, so what I want to showcase with my examples is you should not work on an integration the way we are doing it right now. Because right now we are showing you kind of what is new, so we're going directly into what JSON2 is and how to use it. But it's also something I see a lot done from partners when they try to do an integration with Odoo, which can be very confusing. So let's say you try to do this JSON RPC call to create a new sale order. So Emmy, you can go ahead.
Yes. So this is example 0.1.
And so it's a bit small, but we have gotten a traceback that says request did not work because we are missing a required field, customer, which is partner ID. And so now technically, so this is not what you should do, but you could go into the doc. Can you go into the doc for sale order? And then here, if you see them all, you can see all the required fields, and you can see that company ID is required, date order is required, partner ID, partner invoice ID. And so now you might go back to your call, and this is the second example. You might go back to your call and add all these things.
You want me to run it, right?
Yep. And technically, that would work, but that is a lot of effort, and only 6 required fields. Some models have way more, but there's a way easier way to do it. Instead, you just go into the interface, create a new sale order.
This is the one that you.
This is the one just created, but just create a new sale order and just press save without filling anything. And here you can see that in standard, Odoo only wants you to add the customer. The other fields are required, but a lot of required fields are computed. So you will not see that in the doc. And so here, Emmy, if you just put in a customer, and now you can save. And so instead of simply trying to make a call and then looking into the doc and fixing according to that logic, I say always go into the interface and simply try to do it manually, because that is the easiest way to see the minimum work required. So here you saw all that we needed is to put in a customer, even though there's other required fields, they're filled automatically. And so now you can try that with the third example.
I will also show the code.
And so here, as you can see, the code is really the first one, but we just added customer and nothing else, and it worked.
And if I go to the 30.
So yeah, a lot of the questions also we often get is like, I have the following traceback, and it's like, I have an access right issue, or it's missing a required field. And it's really always, if you go into the interface and try the exact same operation with the same user that you're trying to make your API call, it's the same behavior. It's really, you're doing the same thing, but just via code or manually. And here, this will allow you to see in a much clearer and intuitive way, because this is built for humans to understand what you actually need to do and what your problem is. So even though we're showing you the cool doc thing, always go through the interface. It will make your life much easier.
And I think this ties perfectly with the question that Iba Chokri asked. Good morning, guys. I'm interested in Odoo, and I would like to hear how you guys learn Odoo framework, and how did you guys join Odoo organization, especially for software engineers or data analysts. Why do I say that? Because what we do when we are hired by the company, we have 2 weeks, right? A period of functional training. And that's very, very important. Niels did a talk last year at Odoo Experience 2024, where he went through the hiring process, or let's say the hiring requirements for developers in for partners, for customers that have an Odoo implementation team, and it's kind of applicable for us as well. Functional training is very important. So the thing that Niels showed you, it's something that you need to know if you know it if you do some functional training. even if you're a developer, you have to be able to open Odoo, have to be able to create a sale order, have to be able to do at least the basic flows. The more you know, the easier it is to develop. And then how, maybe Niels, can you tell us about the hiring process, I think,
Yeah.
and how you learn?
So the answer Emmy gave is very correct from the partner perspective of I'm already working in Odoo. In that case, as he said, it's very important to have good functional knowledge and not underestimate that. Now, if you're not asking this from a partner perspective, but from a candidate perspective, as in you're working at tech as a software engineer or data analyst and you would like to join Odoo, then you don't need to know Odoo. You don't need to know the framework. What we care for when we hire people is, actually, can you open the job posting for software developers? So we simply care that you are a competent software developer in any programming language. It doesn't need to be Python, which we use, and we certainly don't need you to know how to code Odoo already, because we assume that if you have learned any programming language and you can work in it successfully, then you can learn Python when you join, and you can learn Odoo when you join. The only other skill we need you to have is database modeling, because everything we do is on a database, so that's quite important.
Indeed. And the hiring process for all developers, regardless if they are in technical support, our department, R&D, is the same.
Exactly.
Is the same. And then after you get hired, how do you go through learning Odoo?
I mean, we will take care of that for you. We have an onboarding and training. But yeah, so the way I joined Odoo was just after university. I applied. I had never heard, I mean, I had researched Odoo, but before that I had never worked in Odoo, but that was not a problem.
Yeah, same for me. I was working for another company before I joined in 2020 during COVID. It was, I did the interview with the CTO, and yeah, I got hired, moved to Belgium, and did all the onboarding. So, and none of us knew anything about the technical aspects of Odoo when we started. Obviously, you have to know the company to at least apply for the company. But
I mean, you should care. You should not
care,
apply just for the fun. You should apply because you really
Exactly.
want to go there.
Exactly, absolutely. But you want to do that. You want to work on the product. Maybe you like the product, but you don't have to come here and already know how the ORM works and know everything. Like you have to be a good developer. Like let's say we look for smart people more than competent Odoo developers.
I can tell you in the interview, there is not a single bonus point for knowing anything about Odoo technically.
Yes. All right. Is any other question maybe?
Somebody asked, how can I use AI if it needs an API key? I'm not sure. With the new AI fields, you do need an open AI.
Yeah, I think that if you are on a SaaS, maybe it's automatically filled for you, maybe out of the box. Otherwise, we can try to do it. This is the, you know, I think there's an AI module. Let's activate it. Never activate it. Let's see. I might need to. Yes, I need to install Vector PSQL. This is also, we can go for this one inside there. So you need to activate PG Vector. You need to activate an extension for you to be able to use the AI features, and you can. The extension must be installed. So I don't remember how to install. How do you use it? Install vector extension. You see, PG Vector.
If it has more than 3 steps, I would recommend we show it in the next To Do Insider.
Well, yeah. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Usually, it's not too complex. Alter table. Clone. Oh, this is annoying to do it that way. Installing PG Vector. Let's see if there's a nice guide from our friend here. DNF. We'll do it next time. But if you go now on odoo.com, and then you go there and start create a new database, and let's say I think that the AI feature comes.
It's auto installed.
Yeah, so let's say Emi Nilu test. Let's wait a little bit. We'll get the our new database, and I guess it should already have some AI features. Maybe for me to be able to display. Let's see if we get something like that. AI is thinking. Apparently, we already have some AI tokens. So if you are on SaaS, it should already work out of the box. Otherwise, you might need to go in the parameters, add some something. Okay, it opened that. We don't have any order because the DB is new, but and I guess if you look for AI might be somewhere that you need to put the where you need to put the I
Did you
don't
see that Studio is just on your DB? Like, does it just come? Ah, no, okay. The
Okay, okay.
icon is there, but Studio is not installed.
all right. But yep. Manage your keys. Maybe here. I don't know what that is. Key file. Will not go through that. But yeah, I guess that if you are on SaaS, we already provide you some keys, and you are free to use them. And but yeah, there's again in the Odoo Experience 2025. Probably you are able to find a talk list, AI.
There's going to be 50.
Yes, Odoo and AI. Probably you can maybe filter for the one that were in 11B, because this was the masterclass. There is plenty of talks about AI. This was like the biggest topic of the Odoo Experience. So
You discovered the new Odoo AI features. I assume that
yeah,
that-
from the product owner.
because a lot of them are by partners, but I think this is one of our talks.
Yes. Walk through the new AI powered feature. Look for this talk, 7D, at 11 in the morning. So if you go on YouTube, look for that right now, because you have to do it now, but in a week it should be already split and you will be able to find a link to the talk. But it will happen in the future. But the content is already available. Arthur, any other question, or should we go forward?
We can go forward.
Perfect. So we were showing you the creation of sell orders. That's good. We have and then this will require a little bit of work. This is version 18 call, and if I go and do that, I'm still using the old JSON RPC route, but there's a small difference, and I think you can see it. When you perform that type of request, in the logs you will be able to see that the endpoints are deprecated in Odoo 19 and scheduled for removal in Odoo 20. So you are already warned. They work because they are, let's say, deprecated. They are being deprecated, but you don't get an error yet. But this is like the wake up call for you to go and change it. And how do you do it? Because if you already have something like this one, or maybe better, you might have like a function. I need to find it, but in 2024 I did a small presentation about JSON RPC, and at some point I was doing something like that. I created my own function to perform RPC calls. And now we have to change it to make it work with the new structure. Important thing is that all the parameters that are used in version 19 using JSON 2 will be keyword arguments. So there's no args anymore, basically. This is important, and that requires some knowledge about the function structure that we have in Odoo, the function signature. And that's why the /doc comes into play, because you can go and look, for example, for a specific function like action confirm. confirm. And okay, in this case there's no parameters, but if I see some parameters, no parameters, no parameters, there's no parameters, but okay, let's go with the create
Yeah, because action send is just to do it.
parameters. So in the slash docs you will be able to find the list of parameters that you don't need to pass in order because they're keyword arguments, but you still need to, and it's mandatory to send the parameter with the right name that you have here. So you cannot send vals, you cannot send just a dictionary, you cannot say values. It needs to be named vals list, and that's how JSON2 will match the parameters of the request with the parameter of the function. If you don't, you will get an error. So let's edit live the my function. So I imagine that you might have like a class that it will be like your helper class, because I don't think that you are crafting JSON RPC call in each time. I think you have something that kind of removes lots of boilerplate, and that will make it also easier for you to perform the call. I have to zoom out a little bit. I hope that you can see. If you cannot, I'm sorry. But if I don't see, I am not able to do it. Split right. So let's compare it. So on the right one you have the new version, on the left one you have the old version. It's pretty simple because we can remove lots of parameters. This one go, this one go, this one go. Well, we can also basically remove everything. We will change the URL. We will change the headers that were not needed before, and for the rest we're good. Payload. We can just say that payload is an empty dictionary. Payload, actually payload should be the quarks basically, because we will send the parameters will be passed like this one. We'll remove this part, and then URL will be something like URL slash model slash method. We need to craft the headers. We're almost done, guys. I don't want, please bear with me. Bearer token with me. So we have the DB. This one will pass the I think I have something like a password let me see. Token, it's token, sorry. Again, what I did here is not okay. Token UID is not needed anymore. Content type, Odoo database, and request post. Oh,
Do you upload all of this code?
yes, I will upload it.
So yeah, if all of
Thank
this
you.
is going too fast and is too small, don't worry, it will be
Yes, because
uploaded.
it will be in either Odoo Insider, where we always post our examples if we show something new, or I have 2024. I have my previous examples that I did in the OXP talk, and I will update them to match the new version. You will find them. I'll send it to you. But the point is, it's very easy to go from one version to the other. Headers equal headers. Oof. Headers. So we have the RPC call. This is the previous version. We can yeet that out, and we can do RPC call product template, I think. What's create, and then what's our payload will be products. It should be something like vals list products. So didn't take long for us to update it. You have plenty of time to do it and to change every. And this one I also need to remove it. I can also maybe simplify and say that this is that. It's a much smaller, less lines of code. Will it work? I don't know. RPC takes 2 positional arguments, but 3 were given. That's great. We'll see here. Yes. Yes, you know why? Because I changed the URL. No. This could be.
Isn't it JSON/2?
That's what happens when you are not even checking. Oh yeah, RPC code. This is the issues with this one. So what did we pass? We passed takes 2 positional arguments, but 3 were given. Oh yeah. Because this will be translated to a proper. Good. List indexes must be integer or slices, not strings. Must be integers or slices. What did I do? Let's print keywords. Yes, that doesn't take long, but vals list. Do you see something wrong in what I did? Probably. Let's put it on the right. Well, or let's just open it. Payload context vals list JSON equal payload seems to be more or less the same. Maybe context is required. We can maybe do. Well, let's try to see. Context equal.
Wait, why do you? I think the thing is, like, on your response you do JSON brackets result, and so if the result is not a dictionary with a result key, you will get a trace back.
So probably I've been creating, indeed, and we can also print. So it was working actually. It just. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because also the response got changed. Before we were receiving a dictionary, and inside the dictionary we had a key that was result, and in there we were able to find the IDs of the products created in our case. But now you just simply receive the list of IDs and you don't have to go through, because before you were able to set a ID to the request, and so you could say that this is a request with ID 1 million, and Odoo would respond with something like ID 1 million and then the result. Now it's not needed. You send, you receive. No need to identify the request anymore. Ganizani on LinkedIn. Rida on LinkedIn. Hello guys. Why are read-only fields not detected during Odoo import?
So you have to distinguish. There's 2 places in Odoo where you can set read-only. In Python, on the field declaration, you can set read-only true. And in the view, you can also set read-only true. If you do it on the view, it's really an interface thing. It just means that a user is not able to write into this. If you write it on the Python field, then Odoo, in a lot of places, will assume a user is not supposed to write on this in any way, be that via import or other things. And so it will, if I remember correctly, not even store it in the cache, because there's no point, because you're only supposed to read it. So your modification will not go through. I think that you can correct me.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
And so basically, yeah, if normally you shouldn't need to import a read-only field, because a read-only field is either a related field, which means you can simply add the original record, or it's a computed field and then you just add the values that compute the field.
Ganizani on LinkedIn. How do I become a consultant or partner? Consultant in the sense of I want to be a consultant that implements Odoo, but I'm like a freelancer. Well, first of all, Odoo, the community version is licensed with LGPL free. So it's available for you to provide services for. That's what the Odoo community version is for. Odoo, the OCA, you can do that. If you want to implement Odoo Enterprise, you have to go through the partnership program. There's a page called Become a Partner. So, like if you want to be a consultant for Odoo Enterprise, you have to basically become a partner. And in there you find all the requirements. What does it mean? What are you kind of signing up for? You can schedule a call. We have a team of partner recruiters that will handle the conversation. You can schedule a call. We have like Lisa and her team that manage that. They're great. They will onboard you, guide you, explain to you the things that much better than I can, because it's their job to do that. So yeah, if you want to become a partner, go on odoo.com/become-a-partner, and you'll be able to find all the information that you need. Then Laza Technology. Can we apply for the job from anywhere, like from Africa? And if possible, do we have to cover the transporting accommodation visa issues? And I think this is actually answered here. It's written relocation package. Odoo got you covered.
So yeah, basically, Odoo has offices a bit all around the world. In Africa specifically, there is an office in Kenya. I don't know if there's another one or if that's the only one.
That's the only one so far.
Now, obviously, if you are a consultant, we have consultants, business analysts in all offices. If you are a developer, in Kenya, we do not have developers yet. But you can apply to the Belgium office from anywhere in the world except India, because in India there is so many developers that we could not handle that, so there you have to apply to the Indian office. But yeah, from anywhere else you can apply, and if you're hired, we support you with relocation, the administrative process. We pay you 1 month of accommodation, I believe, until you can find something for yourself. So we do help you with that.
Yeah. And then
the reallocation package, however, is only for developers again. So if you're a business analyst, we do not offer that.
Yes, because there might be an office closer to you where you can apply to, and not Belgium, for example, Italy if you're Italian, Spain if you're Spanish. Well, all of them. And then again, Laza, I think, asks, can an employee of a company be considered as a partner, or how do we handle deduction from their payroll using it or not? Not sure about the question. If you can rephrase it, that would be great, because it's I'm not sure to understand. I don't know about you. Okay. Then there was some other topics. So JSON 2, pretty simple to change from one to the other. I guess that if you're using like a helper class to coordinate all the calls from your either front end, pulling data from Odoo, and I guess you were using like a class to again coordinate the request, or you were using something else. It's pretty simple to change, because I didn't have to change the, let's say, the interface for my Python functions so much. I did it, but it was not needed. What I did here, it was not needed. The part on the left stayed as is. This one could have stayed as is. I just changed it, but not needed. I just changed how I perform the HTTP request. once you've done that, it's pretty simple. I would recommend to adapt yourself as soon as possible, because if you have to migrate to version 20, you have maybe 4,000 lines of code, integration, creating sale orders, invoices, and whatnot. I think it's better to get ready sooner than later. And Julian said in his talk that if there's any reason why we shouldn't deprecate JSON RPC, to send him an email or to answer on the OCA repository, because he created an issue on the OCA repository asking to get feedbacks, because the time is short but still manageable. But there might be situation that we didn't anticipate, where actually we cannot remove JSON RPC. So Odoo is a big community, and we can all together make it better. So Laz, again, how much is a e-commerce module customizable? How much can you customize the e-commerce module to cover all areas of business? I guess it depends on what you need to do. Like there was a talk by Benoit. I think it's linked here. Sorry, I need to. I'll open it here. But in the list of talks, there is one that a colleague of mine that works in a colleague of ours that works in the website team did, where he explains how to write a controller. And also there was some talks about the new interactions that replace the components in the front end. And there was one, but I cannot find it. It was in our room. I will add it there. There's a colleague, Benoit, that did a 30 minutes presentation on how to write a controller, how to customize the not the commerce but the portal view, because in the commerce you can also do that. You can add filters, you can add new things. It's you need to dig into the code to customize. Odoo is really something that requires some effort and some understanding to be able to customize it. Once you do that, it's pretty simple to change stuff. And then a question from Stanislas. I don't know if this Stanislas is our colleague, but whatever. What happens if I override a public method but rename its parameters? Which parameters names are valid then, the original or the new ones? I think it's the last ones, because it's the MRO, so the order of calling the functions will still be respected, and we can do it live. I have here my product brand. Let me quickly do it. I will do something dirty. This is not something that you have to do, but class sale order, models model.
Don't do this at home, kids.
Yes, exactly. Don't do it. Never. Don't do it. Don't do it like this. You should have like one file for each model. Oh, okay. So,
Arthur, do we not pull question from Twitch?
No, we don't stream from Twitch since February.
okay. Dev action confirm, and then remember that there was not a parameter here. And let's say
No.
that I put. So actually, I need to be careful because I cannot pass name as a parameter because Odoo will reject it. First of all, changing the signature of public methods is dangerous.
Yeah, it was a.
It's
Don't do it.
Don't do it. If you have to do it, we'll see how Odoo will behave, how the /doc will behave, because I guess that's the question. But if I'm not mistaken, it will get the latest override. So if I go there, refresh. Oh, I guess it got the first one. Okay, good to know. Maybe it needs to rebuild the page. Not important. In any case, the from a, let's say, a Python point of view, what matters is the last one. So if I put a breakpoint here, and if I did the things properly, if I go in the sales app, I need to find a quotation, add a product, and that's okay. And I confirm. So what matters is the last one. Then there's I think it's say self class MRO. That that will tell you the order of the order in which Odoo or Python will look for functions in the different classes that we extend. So first it's our extension, then the standard one, and then we go down, 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 down until we reach the model base, and then the object class. So for example, if I do self rep, this will be the, well, because it's overridden in base model, so it's there. If I look for maybe greater than base model, because it's being redefined, but see, like Python will look through all the different classes until it finds a function with that name that you're passing, and you can clearly see it from there. The actually, I think that the behavior of doc that we saw here, I don't know if it was explained. For me, this is the proper one because it takes the basic one that is more important. Maybe also because I'm not adding the product brand. It didn't even see that it was I was extending it in the modules list. So yeah, I think this is the proper one because generally when you define the function the first time, you also write a doc string, so it takes that one, and you shouldn't change it. So it's good that it doesn't take the last version. Which parameters names are valid then? When you then perform the call, as we are actually calling the function, so we can go there. I need to stop it there. I did something that I was not supposed to. At some point, I think we were confirming a cell order, right?
You did it in the interface.
I did it in the interface. I think we can then do it here. So let's do the same. So it will be cell order action confirm, and then we put a name. And I need to find the list of IDs. That's interesting because how do you pass the IDs? Because it doesn't take a parameter, but you need to pass action confirm. I need to find it. IDs. Okay, you need to. So when you have self, you need to pass IDs. IDs, and then let's create a new cell order. Duplicate. Okay, it's in quotation. And then 31. I don't want this one. Oh no, where did it go? I will call it. Got an unexpected keyword argument name. So actually, it's the still the basic one, but it might also be that I didn't.
Did you restart your DB after adding?
Probably I might have not done it. I mean, I did it because at some point we went through this one, but might be also like a small bug in the JSON 2, something that we could potentially send to Julian. Let's wait a little bit. Okay, cool. This one we'll see it after, because these are some of the features that I want to show. Let's see if it works. Might be also that probably it's the well, why even talking when the signature of a function. Let's do that. This makes more sense. So inspect signature function. What does it do? Signature self parameter. Yeah, it doesn't recognize the parameters, and function is action confirm. Yeah, I think it just finds the first one. We'll discuss it with the with Julian just to understand. But yeah, you shouldn't change the signature of a function. That's a very common pitfall.
Add a new function with your extra parameter,
Exactly.
and then that one calls the original.
Exactly. We are basically this is an empty pattern that you shouldn't do. So confirmation kind of this works as it should from my point of view, because it doesn't let you do mistakes kind of. WVVVVW real name. Okay, I am new to Odoo to the Odoo word. I tried /docs. It's /doc on my local machine, but it said page not found. Which version are you running? If it's 18, it will not work. If it's 18.4, it should work. Out of the box, if it doesn't work, there's a parameter to activate. We can check /doc. It's somewhere there. Maybe the group is not. I don't know what error you have. If this page is only accessible to user, you need to check if you have the right group. But yeah, it's available from version 18.3, 18.4, stable version 19. Laza answered. I think it was about the
reformulate this question.
I mean, what's the
no? There was another question like. Can an employee of a company be considered a partner? How do we deduction payroll using ID or not? And then he clarified with, what's the commonly used tag name for an employee or staff of a company who uses Odoo? As I have been unable to differentiate between employees, customers, and vendors.
All right.
I don't think there is a tag to specifically tag people who use Odoo. And I think like in terms of database, there is not a different table for customers, vendors, employees, because you just have one contact table, and then their relationship kind of defines like you are a vendor not because you're in a vendor table, but simply because you are linked somewhere as a vendor of a product. So if you need to identify people who use Odoo, you need to add. You don't even need to add a new field technically, because I think there's already a tag field on contact. And you could just add an Odoo tag on that.
And I don't have the contact tab, but oh yeah, and I was blocking this one, you mean?
Yeah, and then here you could add a new tag that says Odoo, and that way you could identify them.
Yep. All right. Lao Mun Hu. I'm sorry, guys, if I butcher your name. I'm so sorry. Can Odoo handle CXML from Ariba SAP? My client wishes to integrate punch-out catalog into Odoo. I can't find any plugin in Odoo Marketplace. If you cannot find it, there might be some partners that have similar plugins in their, let's say, arsenals, and they are probably willing to help you with the implementation. Personally, in our department, I know we did some time ago a punch-out integration, but yeah, I would say contact your salesperson or the salesperson of your client in Odoo, and they will be able to put you in contact with a partner that might already have that. Because what you find in the marketplace might not be all the modules that a partner develop, because sometimes a module requires some extra settings, some extra setup. Maybe they are using their own middleware. So if you just download the module, it will not work. Maybe you need to create a connection with their middleware. So it might already exist. I would recommend get in contact with the salesperson and ask for them to put you in contact with a partner that might already be able to do that. If not, you can try to develop it yourself. Usually these type of integrations are not as simple, and you're still then bound by what SAP might change in the next in their next version, or just the evolution of the product. Watch out, probably you can find a partner that already implemented that. Then again, Laza, in the payroll, someone may have deduction from his salary every month, temporary for some months. And if he or she have to pay every month some defined money and to deduct, what unique identification should be used? We have some colleagues, Antoine, Rousseau, and Pierre, I think, I don't remember. They are the payroll experts. They sometimes come here. Keep your question for them. Like, it sounds better. No, like it's like they are the expert. Like they manage the Swiss payroll. They know all of that. I could tell you, I don't know. I honestly don't know what identification you should use. In a couple of weeks, maybe, or even next week with Antoine Nouvel, because he also knows a lot of this stuff. You can ask him. Perfect question. This is tech session. Let's try to keep it technical. The line between technical and functional can sometimes be wobbly, but yeah, let's try to really keep it functional. I'm sorry, I cannot answer your question, but yeah. Any other question, maybe Arthur, or we can move forward? Move forward. Let's go. Let's roll. So we had some other topics that we wanted to address because we talk about JSON 2. Let's have a quick look at the new features of the ORM, just a bunch of them. There's a talk done by RCO, Rafael, our ORM guy. Very interesting. Just to show you, I think the main difference is in the definition of a model. Oof, sorry, my bad. Let's remove the API key, we don't need it. So remember that some time ago you needed to define indexes, unique indexes. Unique indexes are a particular type of indexes in PSQL because they act both as an index and as a constraint. And before, if you wanted to create this index, you had to expand the init function of the model and say drop index if exist, and then create index if not exist, and you had to say oh well, actually, sorry, the unique index is in this case is very simple.
Wasn't that just before an SQL constraint and
yes,
index
absolutely.
true?
Yeah. Sorry, but now the SQL constraint got changed. The new ways to define them is, I think, is more like this one. Yeah, but sorry, I was going for something else. Let's see if this works. So now you define them like this one, like what I did here. Doesn't change too much. So we have now a unique constraint. We can go in PSQL Odoo Insider, Odoo Insider, and we can do a description, product, brand, and you see here our index, and yeah, we can also we have some differences now because you can also use that to define partial, maybe unique indexes. For example, here you say that if in an accounts move you have twice the same name in a specific journal for posted entries, you get an error. You don't do it for entries that are not posted and for entries that are with a slash. It's a different way to define it. Before, you had to override the init function and create manually the index yourself. Right now, you can use it. It's more powerful. You can also define indexes like this one. You can also, and again, this is something that you could do before by if you need to do composite indexes. You have to inherit to do dev init and create it there. You can do partial indexes, pretty useful, and you still have the possibility to define the index at the field level, but this is just for that specific field. If, for example, you need to do something more advanced, index of more columns, you have to do it now with index unique, well, index, but just to find them, index, and you can put fields, type of index, where it should, to which rows it will be applied. It's pretty powerful. This is the I think, like, if I check my product brand, this is the version 18, and I updated the lines that you see on the right, on the left, sorry, with the green line are the one that I had to change. This is not, I didn't need to change it. I just wanted to show you the new feature. Then domain got revamped. Now domains are not, they are objects. They are not arrays, and you don't use the OSV module anymore. You have something class domain, and but this is pretty cool. You can do now operations. Before you had to inherit OSV, and to do end of two domains, you had to do OSV expression and put the two domains, and you would get a domain return. But now you can just use the ampersand. You don't need to put the square brackets. Pretty cool. This is a different way to interact with the domains. They are also added a new operator called any. These are a little bit complex. I don't remember exactly how they work, but they should let you perform some checks on field that you normally cannot check. It's kind of like being in a temporarily in pseudo mode, something like that. So this is a change. Then there were some low-level changes. We changed the way that SQL statements are constructed. We adhere more to the standard PSQL. So we remove some not exist or ID in select, and I think we are preferring like the where exist. We are able to construct the queries better. Watch the talk because Rafael goes in details. Talk that I will link after. But yeah, we are able to be way more faster. The loading of the registry is much faster. I think we reduced by 50%.
I feel like we announce it every year.
No, but this is the registry. This is different. This is not like Blazing Fast Odoo. This is like we made it so that the registry is loaded faster. In some, so this has a consequence for who? For people that are on Odoo SH, and where you have the workers that are recycled if they are not used for a while. So every time you connect to Odoo SH, you have to wait for the worker to get up and the registry to be loaded. That will be faster because even for us, when we had to restart our server, we have lots of modules on odoo.com installed. The DB is pretty big. We have lots of fields. It would take, I don't know, like just as a benchmark, like 1 minute. And now we take less than half of that time, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a let's say it's a niche because feature, but it's pretty important on Odoo SH. It has consequences on Odoo SH, and if you're a partner, good for you because you will benefit from that. Then domains, just to show you also how you can use the any operator. It's such a cliche, but when I do examples, I always use Italian friends. So So now I created a filter, and obviously you cannot read it. I have a domain like partner is Ferrari or Italian. That means that in the product brand, which is a field that I created, you have name already exists. Okay, Ferrari. So let's create a customer. I hope I don't get sued by Ferrari because I used them in an example. Arthur, beep me if I say things that are I shouldn't say, like Ferrari. I don't know.
Say it.
I can say it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sweet.
I'm allowed to use it, and you see that my
Whatever brand, whatever thing we do.
all right, as long as we
Even in search, technically we don't have any ban.
nice.
It's not professional.
So that's how you define it. Probably I messed up, but you can use the any to do that. Partner is Ferrari or Italian. Oh, that was it. That's what happened when you talk for 2 hours. And this one I did it 3 hours ago, but yeah. My wish is to work with your team. Well, apply on odoo.com/jobs and good luck. Is there any dev certification? No, not yet. It's what's your take on that? Because I think it's an interesting topic. I think it's asked multiple times. I have my opinion. You have your opinion. Fabian has his opinion. What's yours?
My opinion is that certifications are useless and do not properly reflect your skill. But if you want certifications, because in certain areas it can be important, I think the functional certification has value even as a developer. And then you can just combine that with normal Python database or other certifications in that area.
Good. My filter now works.
What did you change? ID or?
Yeah,
what did you make?
exactly. Now probably the country code. I think it has to be uppercase. That's let's say the last change. But so now you can say that I have many to many on my product brand with partners, and then I can say that this filter will find partners. Product brands where there exists at least a partner whose name is either Ferrari or whose country is Italy. Just some fun, honestly, and it works. I never had to use it, but could be cool, guys, for you to check it out. Customers, let's go remove it so to show them that it worked. So I have Italian partner, but now I say this is not Italian. Now this guy is French.
And they change teams.
And they change teams. And see, it disappears. Okay, that's plenty of topics. Oh, the elephant in the room. At least for me, it's it's very interesting. So in 11B, in our hall, during the Odoo experience, we announced and we had two talks actually. One in 11B and one in 11C. One done by Clemens, and the other one by Lou. And they discussed about their project. We have other people, Paolo, who are working on it. I want to name them because they did their job. Is important to name them. And they work on something called Paper Muncher. Paper Muncher will be in the upcoming years.
I think they're hoping it to be in for 19.2 at the latest.
Yeah, they also mentioned maybe 20. Yeah? So it depends on where we stand. But this is very, very important if you work a lot with PDFs. Who didn't work with PDFs in Odoo? All of us. And what are the main issues that you might face with WHTML to PDF? So, well, if you don't know, WHTML to PDF, it's a legacy software. It has been a pretty good, pretty amazing software for its time. It was, I think, a personal project from a developer, then got expanded to be more advanced. And it's, let's say, PDF generator that starts from the HTML and then converts it to PDF using in the middle more or less a browser. It's a legacy software, not maintained, possible security issues. We are creating our own replacement, and it will be called Paper Muncher. The people behind that are super smart, and it will be a replacement. It will be faster because watch the talk, because I'm like I'm not able to explain it as good as Clem did, and probably was in Lou's talk, but I didn't watch hers. But in Clem's talk, she goes through the technical details of why we did that, what are we doing, why is it faster, and some details, the alternatives that we thought of. But Paper Muncher got announced during the last OXP. It will be a game changer from my point of view. If you do PDFs, we are still like not fully there. I think like we are in a alpha stage, but we are able to generate PDFs pretty good. I'll just quickly show you the Paper Muncher. It's not here. I don't have it on hands, but in the video, at some point, Clem does a little demo generating PDFs and comparing the one that are created by WHTML to PDF right now and what has been created by Paper Muncher.
I think the two really exciting things when you work on PDF, like the two big issues are, first of all, the preview that you get. Like right now, the preview that you have does not always match the PDF, the way it will really look. So every time you develop, you can see the preview, but you still need to download and open the PDF to be sure. With Paper Muncher, that will change. Now the preview will be the same, so you will always be sure that what you see will be what the customer or the partner sees at the end. Secondly, currently when you develop XML, for example, you can launch your DB with --dev equals all, which basically tells Odoo to pull directly from the source, and then whenever you refresh your page, it will directly update your form view. And the same will apply to Paper Muncher. Basically, you will be able to just launch your DB, edit your report, and without needing to restart your DB, simply refresh and you will see the new result, and I felt this will really accelerate development time.
Yep. And I think we can maybe she was also showing something more. The one on the left is the one generated by Paper Muncher, and then I think she opens something else. But yeah, it's very interesting. But basically, we have something that generates PDFs right now. Then, last but not least, because I think we are at the end, right, Arthur? So we have to wrap up. Maybe a small question. No questions? All right. So there is the command line interface got updated. Paolo Gatti, which is a developer that has been at Odoo for 5 years, a little bit more, revamped, and other colleagues. But I know that he worked and he did the presentation. We revamped the command line interface, so some things are different than what you were used to. You have some extra commands, the server, you have something more in the DB, because before it was not working as maybe people expected. You can create DBs, initialize, create backups from the command line. So it's a pretty powerful, pretty better maybe developer experience, which was the focus of Paolo. It might again be opinionated, because if you were used to write the command in a specific way, now it's slightly different. But this was done for to be more compliant with, I think, POSIX and other type of protocols, or at least I don't remember the word, but not protocols, like just when you agree on something.
Standards.
Standards, perfect. Yeah, we try to adhere more to the standards. We changed the library that we use to generate the for the command line interface. I think it's a pretty powerful tool. So yeah, thank you, Laza, because Laza said, well explained, impressive sessions. Thank you very much. So thanks, Niels, you did a good job. I guess we'll wrap it up. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for following us. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to us for 2 hours. I hope this covered at least the basic of Odoo 19. In the upcoming month, we will try to have a tech session every month. I think that every last Thursday there will be either me, Niels, Armin, someone will be here to talk for 2 hours about the tech advancements or some demos here and there. And yeah, thanks a lot. See you next time.
See ya.